After 2 years of pandemic, which has rattled the world economy and stalled the economic growth at a very large level, invasion of Russia into Ukraine has led to new worries for the entire world, which is facing troubles and traumas on multiple fronts. Has it happened before in the centuries, in the history? This is what we're going to talk about. Hi everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. I'm SK in Metaword Infotech merger, wherein I will be talking about certain these social or economical issues. And I have studied of various authors, those who have written about the economic situations after the 2008 recession which rattled the world. And I will also be talking about certain factors which can be looked upon to improve the overall situation here. I'm sitting here at Kasoli and you see the background, it's beautiful. But the situation in our surrounding, when I talk about the market, economical as well as the social status, social situation are not looking expected or very promising. What has happened, what it's all about, that's what we're going to discuss it in today's video. So I have taken a reference of two famous authors. They're wonderful authors in terms of economies, prediction, and evaluating countries' fall or rise on what grounds a countries goes beyond the expectation. For say the Manila in 1960s, or what role China has played in last 2 decades, and what role the Russia has played after 1990. And even in recent days, India was also on a rise in terms of economic structure and social structure. So I'm talking about Mr. Ray Dalio, the famous investor, fund manager and billionaire, and Ruchir Sharma, who is the author of 10 rules of successful nation, he has pointed out. So we're going to compare what these two wonderful authors, economists, and what are their ideas to find out the resolution to come out of this crisis which we are going through. This hasn't happened for the first time in history. They all have studies. Ruchir Sharma has studied for 40 years or more than that. And Mr. Ray Dalio has studied a history of 500 years to understand why there is a degradation in the economy, what is happening these days, has it happened before, or it's a kind of world order which is changing. Is it the technology which is driving these changes, massive changes, or it is something else that one nation is trying to compete with other, or some internal conflicts are happening within the country. So that's what we are talking about. But the most important thing that I have noted down from both of these books, whether it's written and authored by Ruchir Sharma or Mr. Ray Dalio, they all have focused on a very powerful factor which decides whether a nation will go on rise or decline or will muddle through. They all have focused on education and population. As per Ruchir Sharma, he has put in population at the top. As per him, if the population does not mean when you have old age people. The population he's talking about, the population which is young, dynamic, productive population. People of workforce calculation between the age 20 to 50. If you have that kind of capacity in terms of population, that decides whether you can reform your economy growth or not. Because when you have people in working age, you train and educate them to a level, they get into the workforce and they bring they bring a meaningful change to your economy and they change the structure of your society. Not only the society, it brings the change at the front of the international level also. So the education and population, both are these factors which will decide whether India will grow up to a level which we are expecting by 2022 and 2023. That's what they have calculated, because India's average population is around 29 to 28 at the moment, which tells us that we have an opportunity, a wonderful opportunity, that we can transform not only our own social and economical structure and the world, but if it goes into the wrong direction, the loss at a scale that cannot be measured, because the young, underprivileged, undereducated people, frustrated people can become a prey to the blandishment of the politician. You have already seen what is going on in our country right now. So that's what we believe. If we train these young, productive, dynamic people, we have the people, but we have the ability to transform and educate them to a level that we take the advantage of this opportunity which God has given us, nature has given us, that we have a young population of working force between 28 to 29. 65% of population is young population. China has become greatest economy because they had young people in last 2 decades, and they utilize it to a large level. They have transformed their economy because they had a population of working age population, and they utilize it in a wonderful way. Can we do that in the same way? Can we educate our people? Not only education, digital education, because by 2030 marketing will be completely digitalized. This is a revolution of Web 3.0. We are entering into the world which is going to be completely smart, all through smart contract. There's a new term, new technologies coming into our already in our way. There are companies like Metaverse. Facebook has now become Meta. They are bringing the new word of the virtual word, that so-called Metaverse. Cryptocurrency is a new currency, which is a virtual form that has already been into the market and played an important role, making certain people billionaire. So what is important right now is to focus on two things: that we utilize our population, young population, to a level that we train and educate them. And how do we train and educate them? Because unfortunately, our majority of the population young people do not have access to institutions like IIT and IIM. It's not only the financial criteria which decides who will go to these institutions, it's also the surroundings, upbringing. There are lots of factors which decide whether you will be able to go. And there are space challenges, limitation with the seating. So there's a need to increase the level of education in our universities, in our colleges, not only in university and colleges, but from the beginning, when a child enters into the 6th standard, or even before that. If we have such kind of institutions like the international schools where my son goes, although they're charging the amount of money, it is unbearable for a common man, even for me as well, because I come from the middle class family. But the education system, the faculties, the way they are teaching the young children, it's fabulous. So that kind of education system, not for privilege, for the underprivileged people also, even if not up to that level, a level that can at least match of an international school and universities like IIT and IIM, the few example. So if we bring that kind of quality into our education system, that will drastically change our social and economical structure. So that's where the government and the other authorities who are associated with it, not only government can't do this, government can pump money into it, but the other authorities, the other people who are responsible for delegating the task to subordinators, they need to become a watchdog. They need to keep an eye. Even the media has to keep an eye. If the government is pumping money to an institution, if government is opening a school, a government school, The media is supposed, the authorities, the commissioners supposed to become a watchdog. They have to go into the institution regularly, and not by informing them for the institution to welcome. They should go ahead and they random checks into the institution, colleges, schools, primary schools, where the poor people goes, whether they are having meal on time, they provided by the government, whether they are having proper education, whether the teachers and the trainers are up to the mark. They need some sort of new trainings or computers and smartphones. I mean, etiquettes of smartphones are not there in the people. They are wasting their time in circulating sexual messages. If they have got the smartphone, they're wasting time on porn. That is very unfortunate. You should educate and train them not only from literacy perspective, digital literacy perspective, also through their mental strength needs to grow up. I mean, that's what we need from the ground level. When I say the ground level, you first work on your village part, because majority of your population lives in the villages, in the town, small town. Tier 2 and tier 3 cities are already, the people are doing some sort of stuff by hook or crook. But the problem lies in the rural areas. That's where more work in India needs to be done. Why philanthropists like Bill Gates had to worry about the vaccination of children living in Bihar? Why not we get worried about? We are wasting our money in religious institution by giving donations. We are giving golds to the God who doesn't need it. God doesn't need your gold and money. The money and gold, you should be utilizing it for the purpose of people, not by only feeding them through the langar and all those stuff you do. I mean, you do it, it's absolutely all right, but you also, if you could do something like the other people sitting outside the country doing for your people, you do it. You ensure the poor people get the proper meal, they get vaccination on time, they get medical help on time, and moreover, they get proper education, quality of education on time, so that when they reach to the college, once they come out of the college, the employability, the next topic that I'm going to talk about, the employers have good people whom they can utilize, and they can get the foreign investors in, the foreign company comes in. See, this is a complete chain. If you educate people, young children properly, they go to the college, they learn through professional courses, BTech, BE, engineering, all that sort of stuff, BCA. I mean, lots of, I would say, professional courses are available, where companies come for campus placement and they adopt people. And once they adopt good people, they don't have to train much, and their revenue grows, their investment in the other sector grows. Definitely the foreign currency comes into our country. So it's all correlated. That's why these two authors have focused on education and population. They have discussed about other factors also, which are very important. Let me talk about that also, because the time is very short, but I want to cover each and everything. That's the reason I have focused on this. So I think I've already covered about Mr. Ray Dalio. He's talking about inventiveness and technology development, competitive in the global market, economic output. I've already given this information. World trade happens, when how world trade happens, export, import, and all that stuff. And companies coming, the foreign investment is coming, and you also need to have a military strength. Why military strength is important as per Ray Dalio? It has not been talked about Ruchir Sharma, but Ray Dalio is also talking about the military strength, because you need to focus on your internal strength, because that the neighboring countries do not try to invade, like what happened in Ukraine. We all know, even after a wonderful country, Ukraine is at decline. Even Russia losing its economy by going into this war, they are also having setback on it. So the strength of the currency. They both talk about the currency and depth, how the currency strength increases. When the foreign investor comes in, the currency cash flow increase, everything increases, and all these sort of things are related together. So To cut the story in short, before I end my video, I would like to once again precise on these two factors, which is number one, population and working age population, and that you already have. 65% of your population is having the ability to work, to get into the world of working, and they can revamp the economic growth. And number two, you don't have to just use the labor force. You need to make them digitally educated, ensure that you provide them fundamental education at a level that they, once they reach out to the college, they become professionally strong, and when the companies adopt them, or whether they become scientists, whatever they become, even as a smaller clerk, they have the ability to do the job perfectly. Companies don't struggle with them, like Infosys run a complete 1 year re-education system. They don't have to do all this. Once you hire them, even I myself, train certain trainees coming from universities which are charging 10 lakh rupees for BTech education, BTech 4 year programs, and the people are not up to the mark. They're not understanding the basics of the computers and basics of networking. I'm from that background of IT, so I'm talking about in those terms. So that's the challenge. Why in 4 year programs, when you are charging 10 lakh, why are you not ensuring that your contents are being delivered properly to the student? Why you are not judging them? Why you are not realizing that when your people go out of the college, go out of the universities, the employer don't have to waste energy and time on retraining them and rerunning the education system. So that's all sort of things that we need to be taken care, and not only the government, all authorities, subordinators, all at all sections, who even principal, headmasters in small primary schools. When I talk about colleges, small colleges, lecturers and universities, professors, they all need to take care of this. They just don't need to, uplift their lifestyle. I come from a small town called Bareilly, where I've seen in my college, the professors and lecturers, they are just uplifting their lifestyle, having lavish lifestyles through the tuition system, coaching system, running their own coaching system, which government has no control on it. Government paying 2 lakh rupees per month to them, and they are earning 5 lakh per month through the coaching. This is upsetting me. This is a disaster. If this continues, if this goes on, we will not be able to solve the purpose of the gap there, which is getting, which Mr. Ray Dalio talking about, of economic disaster. When economic disaster happens, the rich are less affected, even they get more benefit out of it, and the poor suffers a lot. So why, when the majority of our country having people belonging to lower middle class family, which are form of informal economy, why you are not taking care of them? A person who cries and become a chief minister by saying and at the end he talks about something else. So, or someone else becoming a prime minister, someone else becomes something, by bringing those ideas into their manifesto. When they become something and they don't talk about it, when they don't do something, this is very bad. I'm not saying all of them are doing. Few politicians, few people are very wonderful. They are doing good job at their current position. They're trying to uplift the society, but when they try to uplift the society, the other people pull their legs. Pulling the legs will not help. It will collapse our own nation. So we don't have to do all this. This is a time when we have to stand by each other, whether you are economists, politics, technocrats, whatever you are, contribute it. Don't don't do hiding on tax part. Pay your taxes, GST on time. Nation needs it. Government, certain things government need to be taken care. So all things are required, I think. So I think I have taken a long time. Thank you so much. I need to go back again and see what I can bring in next time. Thank you so much, and hope you have learned, and you will be delivering these messages, circulating these messages to all over your friends and understanding whatever comments, points, question you have. If you think I have missed out something or said something which needs to be corrected, do comment, and I would like to come back with more clarity and the more topics like that. If you like this, do like and subscribe to my channel for upcoming videos, because I'm on Twitter also, on Instagram also. I will share in the description link, you can follow me over there. But I don't want to be on Twitter, because Twitter has a limitation of writing. So that's the reason I've requested people to watch me on YouTube, follow me on YouTube, because there I can talk more. I can even go live if you want to have that kind of session. So thank you so much for patiently listening to me. Take care, everyone. I love the surrounding of this nature. I love nature, and you also need to love nature. You also need to ensure wherever you live, have a small pot, get close to the nature. It tells you how to grow. Thank you so much for watching me. Take care.